Would you agree that cinema is a form of escapism? 2 hours of getting away from the troubles of your world and engrossing in some other. It's intended to entertain and keep us happy. Then why do we have such a strong pull towards tragedies? Nothing tugs at our heart like the universe fucking up our protagonist's life. As much as it hurts to say, cinema is not just about entertainment. At least that's what Aristotle, this stone dude in human form, thought. He felt that stories, especially tragedies, serve a higher, more necessary purpose. One of purging strong, violent, and dangerous emotions, a form of catharsis where thoughts of anger, revenge, betrayal are all rid when we see characters on screen experience them. He felt tragedies were important for social harmony, so much so that he wrote a treatise about it and called it the Poetics. He also wrote one on comedy, but that was unfortunately lost over time. Rules written in the Poetics are relevant even today. Countless authors have used them as a framework to spin their own yarns. None more so than this man right here. In my opinion, this man too. And I feel he's heavily influenced by the former. Vetrimaran is one of the most celebrated directors India has to offer. His movies have consistently not only told important stories in a highly artistic way, but they're also supremely entertaining to watch. Tragic movies sometimes slip into the more artsy side. The need to tap and explore emotions are not particularly in line with commercial cinema. But Vetrimaran does a sublime job of intertwining the two. In his own words.
So for me, cinema is first science, then commerce, and then arts.
His movies are always about a tragic hero and may contain several other characters whose lives are, well, quite tragic. And a lot of them fall perfectly under supposed rules that Aristotle set in the Poetics. Actually, we don't know if he meant them as rules. It could also be commentary on the plays of that time, but it still spoke about what works and what doesn't. The guidelines of tragedies that worked were quite simple. They were about a likable character, one with noble qualities. His or her life takes a turn for the dark, and it's not due to some vice or depravity. That last part is quite essential. Our character needs to be someone who is good, and yet tragedy befalls them. Usually due to some error or frailty of some sort, like overconfidence, blind trust, and so on. The word hamartia is used by Aristotle. It means to take aim for something, but miss the mark. In these tragic tales, the hero banks on something and aims for it, but pitifully falls short a lot of times due to no fault on their part. Much like our own lives. That's why they hit home so hard. There are 3 parts to a tragedy according to this guideline. Let's look at it through Vetrimaran's most celebrated movie, Adugalam. The first part is reversal, where everything is all nice and rosy for happens and everything goes to shit. This is soon followed by recognition, where our character realizes their folly. Some quality of theirs or the circumstances have changed their life forever, and for the worse. And finally, a scene of suffering. This is where we see our hero broken into bits.
என் மேல உனக்கு அவ்வளவு வெறுப்பானே நான் ஒண்ணுமே பண்ணலையானே எனக்கு அப்ப இல்லைங்கிறத நினைச்சு நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணதே இல்லைனே என்னை பார்த்து 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 உடனே அப்பா எனக்கு
Exile, death, and psychological trauma. Another tragic theme the director employs is roping in characters' ideas and traits from the king of tragic tales, will.i.am, the rapper?
William Shakespeare.
Oh, right. Vetrimaran is not the first person to use Shakespeare stories in his movies, but he's not someone who adapted them. He used very specific narratives and arcs to serve his own story. like the deceit, lies, and misdirections of Othello in Adugalam and Polladavan. Vetrimaran was a literature student, and it looks like he paid attention in class. To take a stronger look, we'll be going back to Vada Chennai. This movie has a lot of stuff in it. I could be grasping at straws when I say that Chandra has very strong Lady Macbethian traits.
அன்பு ஒன்றும் ஆகாது நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன்.
But the play does feature more obviously when Kanna goes,
அந்த ஆளை குத்த சொல்ல கையில் சூடாக ரத்தம் பட்டுச்சுல, அந்த சூடு இன்னும் அப்படியே இருக்குது மாமா.
Where I do see the tropes play strong is with two of Shakespeare's most popular plays. Let's begin with Rajan. The character seems to be heavily molded after Julius Caesar, a strong people's man who could come across as arrogant and self-centered sometimes. Maybe he's becoming too powerful. Who would better know that than ones closest to him? So a band of traitors plot and execute the powerful king the only way they can, stabbing him right in the back. And a little more after that.
நீ இப்படி வந்து கஷ்டப்படுறத பார்க்க முடியல.
But it doesn't stop there. Through Rajan and Anbu, we also have a little bit of Hamlet. Rajan may not be his actual father, but there are constant nods to the fact that he was a father figure. The murderous uncle who kills father to take power and marry the mother has his duty split between two pivotal characters, Sendil and Guna. The tale of vengeance for his father to save the hamlet is what follows. Polladavan was about an innocent boy who loses his one prized possession. Adugalam is about a man trapped in a world of mistrust, jealousy, and deceit. Every bit of Visarani is gut-wrenchingly tragic, and Asuran is of a family scalding in the heat of a caste war. Vetrimaran is definitely not out to please audiences. He wants them to feel, and feel strongly. He wants them to experience uncomfortable emotions that we would either brush aside or pent up. But he does not do all that for us to merely rid these emotions in the theatre. His tales cut a level deeper and give us something to think about on the ride back. After all, he did learn from the best. Let's see.